The floor buffer hummed like a tired insect in the pre-dawn quiet of Naval Base Harrington, its low whine echoing down a corridor lined with framed photographs of heroes. Maya Alvarez guided the machine carefully, eyes down, hands steady, working around the boots of passing sailors who barely noticed her. She'd learned long ago that invisibility was a kind of armor. It kept questions away. It kept pity away. It kept the ache in her chest, left there by a life that hadn't gone the way she planned, from spilling onto the polished tiles. What she didn't know, as she wiped a scuff from beneath a portrait of a medal-laden admiral, was that this ordinary morning was about to collide with a name that had once shaken mountains, Iron Sparrow. The mocking started with a laugh that carried too far. Admiral Clayton Rourke, newly transferred and already infamous for his sharp tongue, stood with a cluster of officers near the briefing room doors. He was tall, immaculate, his ribbons arranged with ceremonial precision. When Maya's buffer drifted too close, he stepped back exaggeratedly, wrinkling his nose. "Careful there," he said, voice smooth and cutting. "This is a military base, not a daycare." The officers chuckled. Maya flushed, murmured an apology, and pulled the machine away. She told herself it didn't matter. She told herself she was here for one reason only, to make enough money to keep the lights on and her son fed. Still, the words lodged in her like splinters. Maya's life had become a careful balance of schedules and sacrifices. She worked nights cleaning offices, mornings at a diner, and afternoons helping her 10-year-old son, Leo, with homework at their kitchen table. Leo was curious, bright, and endlessly talkative, forever asking questions about the old photographs Maya kept in a box under her bed. Photos of a younger woman in camouflage, face painted, eyes fierce. "Were you really a soldier?" he'd asked once. Maya had smiled and changed the subject. Some stories were heavy. Some stories waited. Admiral Rourke didn't wait. Over the next few days, his comments sharpened. He corrected Maya loudly when she mopped near sensitive areas, joked about civilians who didn't know their place, and once, when she asked permission to clean a secured office after hours, he smirked and said, "You should be grateful just to be here." Each time, Maya swallowed the anger and kept moving. She'd learned discipline in a different life, a different uniform. She knew when to endure. But bases are small worlds, and reputations move faster than people. Whispers followed Maya down the halls, about her posture, her quiet competence, the way she scanned rooms without meaning to. A chief petty officer noticed how she flinched at sudden noises, how her eyes tracked exits. "She's seen something," he muttered once. Maya heard him and kept her head down. The day everything changed began with a crisis. A joint exercise had gone wrong in the training hills beyond the base. A communications blackout, simulated enemy movement that turned dangerously real, and a team pinned down in a ravine when weather rolled in fast and brutal. Sirens cut through the base. Officers ran. Orders crackled over radios that worked only half the time. Admiral Rourke took command in the operations center, his confidence unwavering as screens flickered and maps updated. But something was off. Coordinates didn't align. A decision made too quickly could cost lives, even in an exercise. Maya was in the hallway outside the operations center, wiping rain tracked in by boots. She heard the raised voices, the confusion. She heard a phrase that made her spine stiffen, "Blind Valley." It was an old term, one used by those who'd fought in terrain where signals died and echoes lied. Her heart pounded. She knew that valley. She'd bled in one like it. Without thinking, she stepped closer to the open door. Inside, Admiral Rourke barked orders, pointing at a map. "They'll push east," he said. "That's the only way out." Maya's mouth went dry. East was a trap. Wind funneled there, sound bounced, and any movement would be silhouetted against the ridge. She remembered crawling through mud, counting breaths, waiting for a shot that never came because she'd moved too soon. "Sir," Maya said softly from the doorway. The room froze for a heartbeat. Rourke turned, eyes narrowing. "This is a restricted area." "I know," she said. Her voice surprised her with its steadiness. "But east isn't the way. The ravine curves. The rock face will carry sound. They'll be seen before they're ready." A murmur rippled through the officers. Rourke's lip curled. "And you'd know this how?" Maya met his gaze. For years she'd avoided this moment. For years she'd been just a janitor, just a single mom. The weight of the secret pressed against her ribs. "Because I've been there," she said. "And because Iron Sparrow wouldn't take that path." The name hit the room like a shockwave. Conversations died. A captain dropped his pen. Someone whispered, "That's impossible." Iron Sparrow was a legend, a call sign spoken with reverence in quiet bars and training rooms. A sniper who'd turned the tide of missions no one officially acknowledged. A ghost. Admiral Rourke's face drained of color. He took a step forward, then stopped. That's classified, he said, voice tight. You have no business. Maya reached into her pocket and placed a worn, bent coin on the table. A unit token, scarred and unmistakable. I earned that name, she said. And I earned the right to speak when lives are on the line. Silence swallowed the room. Then the base seemed to hold its breath. Rourke stared at the coin, at Maya, at the truth unraveling his certainty. He'd mocked her because it was easy. Because power liked to feel tall. Now it shrank. If you're wrong, he said quietly, this ends your employment. If I'm wrong, Maya replied, I'll walk out myself. They rerouted the plan. They held position, adjusted angles, used the storm to mask movement. When the team emerged from the ravine hours later, cold, soaked, but safe, the operations center erupted. Cheers, claps, relief breaking through the tension. Maya slipped away before anyone could thank her. She was halfway down the corridor when Admiral Rourke caught up. He looked older somehow, the sharp edges dulled. I owe you an apology, he said. For my words. For my ignorance. Maya nodded. Apologies are easy, she said. Respect takes practice. He surprised her then. He stood straighter, saluted, not the casual gesture of courtesy, but the full, formal acknowledgement of a warrior to another. Iron Sparrow, he said. The title echoed, and nearby sailors stopped, eyes wide. The base froze, not in fear, but in recognition. In the weeks that followed, Maya's life changed in small, profound ways. She was offered a consulting role, flexible hours, a chance to teach without returning to the field. She accepted, cautiously. At home, Leo listened wide-eyed as she finally told him her story, not the gore, not the loss, but the courage and the choices. You're my hero, he said, hugging her tight. On a quiet evening, Maya walked the same corridor she'd cleaned for months, her footsteps echoing softly. The photographs on the walls seemed different now, not untouchable, not distant. She realized then that greatness didn't always wear the uniform people expected. Sometimes it held a mop. Sometimes it packed lunches and paid bills and carried scars no one saw. The base learned a lesson that day, one it would carry forward in training and tradition. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Never mistake humility for weakness. And never forget that the strongest wings are often folded, waiting for the moment they're needed most. Because Iron Sparrow wasn't just a legend from the past. She was proof that dignity endures, that courage adapts, and that respect, real respect, is earned not by rank, but by heart.